to Small Business Spoonfuls Podcast, a laid-back discussion of the serious HR topics and trends of today. Sponsored by helpdeskforhr.com.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Aaron Bowen, and I am wearing my trucker cap today to discuss the question, work from home dress codes, good idea or impossible to enforce? We're going to be taking questions throughout the show, of course, so leave us a comment and we'll answer you as we go along. And also, if you don't have time to watch live, we'll have the replay on Facebook and the audio recording through our Small Business Spoonfuls podcast on Apple and Spotify. And with me as always, is Lisa Smith, our SPHR, SCP, EEOC certified investigator and the CEO of Andera Corp. I know I usually say Help Desk for HR, but I'm going to start saying Andera Corp because that is actually technically the name of our company, and we do have other services other than just Help Desk for HR, like Andera Preps You, which we do training for your HR prep courses and things like that. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. Let's get into the show. Lisa, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah. So Andera, just, kind of a quick thing. A lot of people don't know that word. And so I do want to start using it more frequently. Yeah. So that's good. And I just thought I would tell everybody that the term Andera is a German word, it actually is in many languages, but I extracted it from the German, which means unique, different, but in a good way. So that's what we do here. We do things uniquely, looks a little different. We do things a little different, and we're hoping to be different enough that we make it better for people. So that's where the word Andera Corp comes from. Different, unique, better than the ordinary kind of feel. Okay. So anyway, now that I've got that out of the way, today we are talking about dress codes for work from home folks. And, I love that you did wear that cap today because, in our setting that we do, and even here on this podcast, on this live broadcast, we don't really worry too much about, dress code. I think that you look fine for this cast. It's not like this is a suit and tie type event. Yeah. And, so we're good. But tell me, Aaron, how would you change your outfit if you were meeting with a client today?
Well, if I was meeting with a client, I'd probably, not wear this hat for sure. And I would wear a polo more than likely, and probably some nice khakis instead of the jeans that I'm wearing, and dress shoes as opposed to the Chucks that I'm wearing. So definitely would scale it up a notch for sure.
Yeah. And so that's an interesting thing that you say, that you would have on khakis and dress shoes. So I can't see those on camera. So why would you even bother with that part of your body?
Well, that's fair. So for me, it makes me feel better when I wear that when I wear those clothes. It's specifically, like I said, when I'm meeting with somebody, when I'm just kind of working here, talking to people on Facebook, building a website, doing copywriting and things like that. I like to be a little bit more comfortable and keep it a little bit more laid back. But when you're actually having a professional discussion with somebody, and you're meeting like in this instance with a client, top to bottom, even if they're not seeing me, it just gives me a little bit more confidence boost, makes me feel a little bit better about myself and my presentation.
Yeah.
And if I have to stand up, if I have to stand up and excuse myself for a moment, then, they don't see me, wearing joggers or something like that. I have actual clothes on,
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's exactly the conversation here today is, I had this in support earlier this week, and I just thought, this would be a great conversation for our Facebook Live, YouTube broadcast, yeah. And so the question is should we have a work from home dress code? And if we have one, can we actually enforce it? And what does that even look like? you know? And so I did some research for this client, and I came across an article from LinkedIn, an article from SHRM, and a couple other ones, and they all quoted back to a recent survey that was done by couponfollow.com, which I thought was weird. It sounded like a hack site or something, you know. But literally, this is a legit survey that this website has done, and it really opened up some interesting points because they anonymously surveyed, I think it was 1,038 or something like that, work from home folks across the United States. And they ask them all these different questions like, what do you normally wear? And, you know, do you brush your hair? Do you take a shower? Do you, you know, like, what do you
Right.
do every day? And I thought it was interesting that one of the big things I looked at was that people, 22% of the people surveyed said they only change out of their pajamas if they're going to be on a video call.
That's insane.
Yeah, and 9% said they only brush their teeth if they're going to be on a video call. And then 7% said that they never even shower, video call or not. And 10% said, video call or not, I'm in my pajamas. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
depressing.
it is. Now we're going to put the link to this survey in the show notes. So, you know, don't worry about that. You'll be able to read the whole thing. All you folks out there in streaming land. So, so you'll be able to see it. But, you know, I think that those are some interesting things to say. Now, should we be writing in our dress code policy that work from home must brush their teeth, must, you know, change out of their pajamas, must shower
Yes.
on a regular basis? And I think that those are, I think we probably, yeah, it's sad that you would think you have to put that in a dress code.
Yeah.
But even if you do, like, how are you going to enforce that? You're really not going to
Absolutely.
be able to enforce that. Now, what you could do for a work from home dress code is when you are on camera, this is what the expectation is.
Mhm.
And as long and really when you are off camera, this is a great pattern to follow anyway. But here's the key. If your performance drops, then we're going to come back and ask you, what are you doing every day to make yourself feel professional, feel motivated? You know, like, what are you
Right.
doing? What are we doing too? Because clearly, you know, we need to make sure we're motivating you to do the job that you've been assigned to do. However, like, if we feel like we're doing what we can we also ask you to review your daily routine? You know, are you up? Are you eating breakfast? Are you brushing your teeth? Are you taking a shower? Are you fixing your hair? Do you change at least from pajamas to joggers? Like, you know, like, do you at least make some effort to level up, you know, during
Right.
the day? And those are some really important things to look at. And certainly they can be written into a dress code as suggestions and really expectations, even
Mhm.
though off camera time is not really something that you can clearly enforce.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to think in the vein of a lot of this is because of the pandemic. And so, you know, to your point, during the pandemic, you know, mental health has been such a huge thing. And, you know, if people are suffering from depression, they're much less likely to shower, to change their clothes, to brush their teeth, to take care of themselves because they're just so down and out.
Yeah.
And so it definitely plays a factor into, you know, the small percentage of people that are doing this. So being kind of gentle about things, and like you had mentioned, and not trying to be like this totalitarian enforcement of things, you know, it definitely helps, you know, those who are actually suffering and not just being lazy. But at the same time, if we're in a business setting, we want to encourage people to be, you know, professionals. And that's really what it comes down to, especially if you're meeting with clients, you're meeting with, higher ups in the company and things like that. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was interesting, and I want to make sure that we make it very clear that when you guys go to couponfollow.com and you look at this survey, we're not suggesting that you mandate any of these things. Like, for instance, part of the survey was, how often do you put on makeup? And 21% of people said never. Well, maybe those were men, maybe those were women who don't prefer makeup. So, like, I'm not saying go out there and mandate people wear makeup on the on camera days, because that's not something you should be mandating. It crosses all sorts of, gender rules and lines and, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So just make sure, and it could also cover ADA issues if I have severe allergies and I respond poorly to makeup, so like there could be a lot of things going on there. I don't know that an allergy in that case is
Personally,
a disability, but it could be discriminatory.
absolutely. Personally, I think makeup is Photoshop in real life, and I don't think women should have to wear makeup at all. I think it's bogus.
Good for you. Yeah, I've been one of those people that for the camera, like I put on eyeliner so you can kind of see my eyes, and I wear a little bit of pink on my lips. But like I'm not a makeup person at all. I mean, if anybody knows me in real life, it's like, no, Lisa does not have makeup on most of the time. But I will like do this much for being on camera. So I'm one of those people that's like, don't hold me to a full blown, I got to
Right.
have on all the false eyelashes and
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
that stuff, because I'm not doing
don't
that.
feel yeah, you should not have to worry about taking somewhere between 1 to 2 hours or so every day to feel like you are presentable to the world. That's
Yeah.
bogus.
But absolutely. But I do agree that, like, it said only 32% of people brush their hair, when they were going to be on a video call, and 33% brush their hair just anyway before the workday. 17% said they never brush their hair. Okay, now maybe those were partially bald men. That could be a thing. I don't have any hair to brush. Okay, fine. Or women. Or women who
Yeah.
don't have hair. I mean, it could come from that.
Sure,
But
yeah.
if
The
yeah.
dummy character in this athletic wear 20% picture is bald, so there you go. Sorry, I had to
Yeah,
jump in and say that.
so there you go. And so, but if you have hair that needs to be groomed, then I think the expectation would be that you groom yourself appropriately, at least while on camera and hopefully all the time. Because like you pointed out, Aaron, if you're feeling kind of grungy and halfway put together, then you may not be as productive and you may not be as motivated and feel as professionally responsible, as you would if you
Absolutely.
had at least leveled up a little that day, and I'm not saying you
Absolutely.
have to put on a three-piece suit or anything. I'm just saying, like, get a shower and get out of your pajamas, because really,
Absolutely.
and I am she who is the most guilty. Like, because I have been very guilty of working from home and not going to be on camera that day and wearing my pajamas. But but I will say that I do brush my teeth, wash my face, brush my hair, pull it up, or, do something with it so that I get up and I at least feel like I've done something that day, and I'll shower. I might put my pajamas back on after I shower or some sort of household lounge wear that could be pajama like. I'm not hating on people who prefer that, because I have been extremely productive in that kind of setting. But I also noticed that if I level myself up just one more notch and put on real street clothes, you know, then I do tend to feel like what you were expressing, like I'm more in the game,
Yeah,
instead of just
absolutely.
working from home one day, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I think for me, I know that I am acceptable, for work if my kids ask me where we're going today.
That's a
So, like
great gauge.
right? They'll be like, "Oh, where are you headed off to?" "I'm not going anywhere. I'm working from home today." But at least it looks like I'm about to venture into the outside world, so I know that, I know that I look presentable.
Yeah. And so in this coupon follow survey, they ask, separate questions they said, how many people feel productive, when they're dressed business casual and or business professional. And they said, so 79% said I feel productive then, which I thought was interesting because I would think you would feel very productive if you're dressed up like that. However, working from home dressed up may actually be more confining, and you would feel less productive because maybe business professional is pulling at your tie. And so that might be a little unreasonable, but 79% said that they did feel very productive. If they were smart casual, 83% said they felt at their most productive. 70% said they felt fully productive wearing gym clothes. And then 50% said they felt fully productive wearing pajamas. So I think that's even a high number maybe. But like I said, some
Yeah,
people are like
that's
me,
why.
and they can still be cleaned up and hair brushed and face washed and all that stuff and wearing technically pajamas and still be productive. So I think that we have to sort of jump off the what are you wearing while you're at work kind of thing
Right.
and make sure that we focus on productivity and what are you wearing while you're on camera,
Yeah,
because that's
absolutely.
a big deal. And if you have someone who's suffering, like, go through some of these checkpoints with them and say, can you look at this and can you identify some areas where it may not totally fix the problem, but if you
Mhm,
just put gym clothes on instead of pajamas, like level up
mhm,
one notch and see if that improves your mindset,
mhm,
and then therefore your performance, because that's a big deal. And the other thing I really suggest here is take this survey because it is so in depth and we don't have time to go through all of it today, but it is so in depth. Take it and make it like an in-service, like make it a company training. You
mhm.
can take it literally and pop it up on a smart TV and, go through the survey with each other and laugh and joke, and or put it on a Zoom call. So the remote folks are obviously on Zoom or something like that,
Mhm.
and go through this together, share your screen, go through this together and laugh and joke about it. But get
Yeah.
the real feedback, like ask the questions like I ask you. Like, what makes you feel motivated? Like, what kind of
Yeah.
dress, would make that happen for you? And during that time, you may also find some very honest opinions on things that you as an employer can do to also, enhance the person at home and do your part as well. But this is a very big deal because I know,
Mhm,
like you said, the mental health thing is real. The mindset in general is
mhm.
real, and if I don't feel like I'm in the right mindset, then I am just going to like look at Amazon all day and,
Yeah, absolutely.
or surf Facebook or do something like that because I'm not going to feel motivated.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. I was looking at these statistics, and I think it's interesting that there are more people brushing their teeth, than there are putting on underwear, and, that's a horrifying statistic to think about. I just wanted to put that out there really quickly.
You are right. And I
I think
totally skipped
people
over that
I
one.
think that
Yeah.
might pique people's interest to read this right there.
I think really, yeah. I mean, and also like the putting on a bra, like,
Yeah,
I think you can just skip over that one unless you're on
yeah. I
camera
take
and
my
need
bra off
a
when I
bra.
get home. Yeah. Dude, as soon as I walk in the door, that thing is gone. I'll tell you that much.
I tell you, I know, I get that, but
There's
but
no way
and
I'm wearing that thing in the house.
I enjoyed looking I enjoyed looking at the part by industry where people
Uh-huh.
said in my industry is, dressing, having a dress code, for the workplace. Is it
Yeah.
necessary? Some necessary, not at all necessary. And I think that's very interesting too, that it was really middle of the road for most industries,
Mhm.
sort of, somewhat necessary. And I think the very necessary capped out for information services and data processing, um, maybe because they were on camera more. I don't really know. Actually, that doesn't sound like on camera to me. But
Not
and
really,
then
yeah.
22% of people in education said it's not at all necessary to
Yeah, that's
dress
very weird.
for success. Yeah.
I mean, I guess
And
if you're like a kindergarten teacher and you're just wearing like t-shirt and jeans, whatever, I
yeah,
get it. I get it.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends. Everything is it depends. That's the answer
Yeah,
that, you always
exactly.
get. But I thought that was interesting too. So we should, people should review that piece and like look at the industry that fits you the best just to see if it shows up there and kind of what other people think. And finally, I just want to say that what other people think really doesn't matter.
True.
At the end of the day, what
That's
matters
true.
is your company, your image, your brand, as a organization. And
Mhm.
then also teach people to think about their personal brand. Like if
Mhm.
I'm always on camera with stringy hair and, obvious, ripped t-shirt, then my personal brand says, I don't give a rip about this job and I'm probably lazy and I'm
Right.
probably unproductive. And it doesn't matter because that's what people are going to get in their head when they see you. So that on
Right.
camera brand is really important. I think it's
Right.
really something to consider with people.
Absolutely. And you're also depending on, how you have your camera set up, you're a distraction to other people as well, which is not
Yeah.
pleasant in a work
Yes.
environment.
I read one article by an attorney by a law firm, and they
Mhm.
said that this topic had come up in their law firm because it had been a real problem. So these are
Oh,
attorneys
yeah.
getting on meetings, and one attorney, female attorney, she actually had a meeting clearly, obviously from her bed with the covers pulled up around her neck.
Oh my goodness.
Clearly was having like a legit meeting with a client.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
And of course
that's
the client complained and,
yeah.
Um, so we really wanna think, like, even some of the most highly educated people don't get these concepts. So
Right.
don't ever as an employer, as an HR person, don't ever think, "I'm probably talking down to my employees if we talk about this."
Yeah.
Because really and truly, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. Some people are gonna get this and some people aren't, and this is a
Mhm.
conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like
Yeah.
you're at your home, but don't forget why you're at your home and what you're still doing,
Yeah, and a
you
lot of
know?
places are opening back up, but a lot
Mhm.
of companies are saying, you can keep working from home. It worked out really
Right.
great for us. We never thought
Right.
it would, but it did." And so let's don't take that for granted and just
Yeah.
slide into a slump. And
Right.
if working from home is causing you mental health challenges, then let's
Then
deal with
don't.
that too. Make sure we
Yeah,
talk about those things. All right?
absolutely.
All right. Good. Well, I guess that's all I have for today.
Yeah, I think we're covered. Thank you so much, Lisa, for the research and for the input. Thank you to everybody that joined us today for the show. And if you want to learn more about us, head over to beauditsecure.com, and that will show you everything we do, top to bottom. And until next time, keep working to be audit secure. Take care, guys.